You know what? You think you're just thinking, but actually, you're actually training yourself in that process. And what I mean by that is, have you ever noticed how you speak to yourself? And especially when things don't go right, things don't go according to what we plan, because that way isn't supportive and it is not even patient. It is pressure we're putting on ourselves. And here's the strange part about this: you would never speak to someone you care about like that. But when it comes to yourself, it's an automatic thing. It's like heavy duty, pouncing. But the thing that most people don't realize is our brain is listening to our voice. When we are speaking in that manner to ourselves, it's like truth to our brain. It's like if we're saying this thing every single time, things like, oh my, I'm not ready. Oh, I just messed up. Oh my gosh, you dumbass. Like you should know, like seriously, someone, a 5-year-old would do better than that. Why are you doing that? This is what we're saying to ourselves, right? And even if we're not reacting to those things we're saying, we're reinforcing it. I have a friend that, like, any small things like, oh, she hits a lot of stupid me. Like, really? Everything, stupid me, stupid me, stupid. And what happens over time? That, what you're saying becomes, you start thinking that's who you are because you're always reinforcing it. You're always saying it. So that means that self talk, you think you're self talk, you're just playing or just making fun. You are conditioning yourself. You are proper conditioning. And that's what I want to talk about in this today's video. Because we normalize being hard on ourselves as if it's like a badge of honor, as if we're doing something great. Like, okay, this is what it is. We call it, we're being disciplined, we're being accountable, we're making sure we're on power, we're making sure we're doing the things that's right. But most of the time, we're self-attacking ourselves, thinking that we're making sure we think we're motivating ourselves. But you're not. That's not motivation. What we're actually doing is weakening the self-trust we have for self when we do that to ourselves, thinking, I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the path. You are not. Because every time something doesn't go right, and you start speaking to yourself in a certain tone, and you start doing all those things, maybe your tone is like, is that tone okay? We'll figure it out. Or is the tone, uh, here we go again. We always do this. What tone are we actually using in this self-talk we're doing? Because there is a difference. If that difference is everything, depending on how we speak to ourselves. We're thinking, oh no, it's just like, oh, I'm just stupid. Like your brain is listening, always listening. When you're saying things like that, oh, I missed that. Oh my dumb, oh god. But is it true though? You have to like think about it and ask yourself, because what you're doing, this is being repeated. You're saying it again and again and again to yourself. And know this: what you repeat becomes familiar. And then it becomes who you are. Like that's it. The familiarity, it becomes okay. Without you knowing, because it becomes now your default mode set network, and your brain will start looking for showing you why it is true. Why you're this dumbass, you're always excuse me, kicking things out, or you're always you start driving, you start acting like the way you're speaking. So your inner voice, if you start saying things like, oh, I'm behind, I'm so inconsistent, I'm always missing this and out, I don't get it, I'm not good at this, whatever that is, your brain will go, okay, I've got this. Let me make a note. Oh, this is who you are. You ain't got this. Okay, let me make a note. And now you start moving like someone that don't ain't got it. You start acting like someone that has no understanding because you keep saying it playfully or like, oh, it's just. But your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real or not. So it's just going to support what you're saying. So, us capable people, we don't struggle because we don't know what to do. We struggle because of what we say to ourselves. And when things don't go to plan, you have decided, right? You have invested in your growth. You now have a vision of what that gets to look like. But when things slow down and when things starts like changing up, you then feel like, oh, okay, there's no way you would expect that to happen. And then when your voice starts shifting and you start acting a different way and start saying all these things, trying, uh, oh now, oh maybe this isn't working. Okay, well maybe I'm off. Maybe I need to start again. Again, those self-talk, those things when things are not working out for us, when we say that, you start disconnecting from the version of you you're building. You're wanting this, and then you start it changes. So we truly need to be mindful of what it is that we're doing. Because I tell you, when I was when I was told that I couldn't be an interpreter because I was dyslexic, and any small things like, you see now, that's why you can't get it, you can't figure things out. So just, I guess they're right, right? So what you doing? Beating myself up like, okay, I guess this is how things are gonna be. Like, oh, nah, nah. Saying those things, when I was saying it, my reticular activating system, that's like, when you have this, when you, if I say now, look in your room and see everything that is brown. And then you look around like, yeah, okay, there's stew that is brown, there's a mug here that's brown, this is brown, that's brown. And then I say, close your eyes and see, and now tell me everything that is blue. You'd be like, no, no, my mind was on the brown, so why are you down telling me blue? The same is true for what we say to ourselves. You are there saying that you're stupid, you're dumb, you're this, you're that. And you think your brain is going to show you your brilliance. Your brain is going to now tell you, like, this is the great thing about you, or this is how things flow. No, you're thinking of the dumbness. You're like, okay, see that? That's why you're dumb. You couldn't get that. That's why you're dumb. This happened. That's why. You missed that. It gives you that evidence. So we have to then be mindful and be careful of what is that thing that we are willing to do for self, to make sure that we are anchored in our in that what we are saying consciously is aligning to what we want unconsciously. Because what rules the roost is the unconscious mind. But if we're consciously thinking, oh, it's playful, I'm just making sure I'm on ball, I'm like, I've got this. So I'm just making sure I say this to myself because of that, your brain's going to reinforce it for you. Your brain is going to tell you why this is the case. So we have to be very particular and be careful. And we have to give ourselves grace. Because if we have always done this and always like spoken to ourselves in a certain way, and we catch ourselves, it's okay to be like, make it playful. Oh, I caught myself. I'm not saying that no more. Because here's the thing I want us to really understand as well. It's like most people think that pressure creates results. Like when you're hard on yourself, that means I'm like you're on board, you're doing the thing. Okay, yeah, focus, Nene. Let's whatever that is, you're thinking, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm doing the thing to keep me going. No, it does not. Definitely does not. Pressure creates hesitation. When we have this pressure on self, it then leads us to that pressure from the hesitation, from the pressure gives that hesitation, and that hesitation leads to fear. And then we start backing out. We start saying no. And then what happens with the fear happens when that comes in, we start overthinking. Maybe I should have, could have, would have. And then with the overthinking, what happens? It leads you to stop it. Then nothing happens. Because you're thinking, oh, I just want to make sure I'm on board. So I'm doing this. I'm saying this to myself to like, oh, damn, no, we're good. But that is has a knock-on effect on what tends to show up. And then it then affects us to the point we stop. And it's like, okay, this is not working. I need to do something else. So we're like, oh, let me go somewhere else. That's what's gonna happen. So you don't grow in a how can you grow in an environment that attacks you? Tell me how. When you plant a seed and there's all these weeds around that is taking all the nutrients that the thing that you really wanted to grow grows, it can't work. So the same is true for us. When we're in an environment that is not supportive, that is not encouraging, especially for self, the one in your head, in a chatter, if that is not supporting who you're becoming, hey, who's going to do it? Who would do that? So if that environment is now your own mind, what chance have you got to do the thing that you want, to get the desires that you want? If you're attacking yourself unknowingly. But here's the thing, when we know better, like we do better, right? Now we got the awareness. Now we now have that, okay, now we start retraining ourselves and like speaking kindly to self. And look, this is not all about being positive, positive thinking, da 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 da. Da. No, this is about being supportive. This is about noticing what we're saying to ourselves and see the ones that is serving us and the one that is not serving us. Like really catching ourselves when we say those things. Like really looking at like, how is this going to help me here? What is this going to do for me? And it's not like a once in a day kind of thing. In the moment, as it's coming, you catch it. That's not serving me. And we replace it with what's saving, like what would serve us. Because take the time to ask, like, what am I actually saying to myself? How is this supporting me? So when we know that thing we're saying, we notice it, we catch it. What's it saying? We then need to interrupt it. So we now know what it is. Okay. Now let's get something like something more empowering, something we want to embody to replace that saying. Instead of every time we bump our feet, like my friend, that every time she bumps her feet or whatever, oh stupid me, it's like it's so automatic for her to say that word. It could be she could just catch it like, okay, me bumping myself, saying stupid me is making me bump myself more because I'm now stupid. I can't like navigate my way, right? Or she simply changes it to like she bumps us like, oh, okay, like or something even as simple as that, or like I don't know. I'm not even thought about this one for her, but like say changing it to something instead of going stupid, like oh, we good, or something. And then now with that new thinking of like, oh, we're fine, like we'll be okay, or something. It would now make her be mindful of like, where am I going so I don't bump me? Than going stupid me. Like now the brain is just gonna, oh no, we need to bump ourselves so we can say that. So whatever it is that we're saying, for me, it was like, oh my goodness, I could never be this. I couldn't do this. Changing the word into like, I do it. Like, I've got this. I'm okay. Because I always thought like, oh, I could never like w- going back to what I said earlier in regards to me not being when I was told I couldn't be an interpreter. I was like, oh, okay. So every time the opportunity came or something happens, like, oh, you see, this is why you can never get this. This is not for you. Da, da, da. So I changed it to I am that interpreter. I am that interpreter. And to me, what that means is something different. It means I am anchored in myself. I am aligned and I am like focused. So when the feeling of like, oh no, I can never do this, like, oh, no, I'm that interpreter. I'm not to me, I'm saying to myself, not saying to other people. It's not in like in an arrogant way or whatever. It's more in an anchored way, in a way that serves me to like get me back to like, oh, got this Nene. Ah. So when we notice that the thing we're saying to ourselves that is not serving us, because our brain is listening, we notice it We figure out, is that serving us? Is that helping us? What's that doing for us? And then we interrupt it. And I do, for me, my interruption, I always, it's just laughing at myself. Or it could be kind of like something to shift the pattern. Because you know what? You know when you're watching, say maybe watching TV or something, or you're listening to some whatever, and you have to like write something down. But the pen is in the next room. And then you get up and you go to the next room, and then you be like, what did I come here for again? And then you come back to the room and you sit down, oh, pen. Then you got up again. You see that space of like when you move, you're so focused, you needed a pen, you got up, you moved, there was that void. I can never say this word right. Sarco I'm not gonna butcher it. Sarcoma? That void is called sa something. Woo! And that's what we fill it in with what we want. So the moment we think of I am not good, I am no good, and we start catch ourselves saying that to ourselves. And we move. You see that movement? We're interrupting it. We're interrupting that thing that we're saying. So with my friend that keeps saying, "Oh, she's stupid," I'm stupid, stupid, and what? She catches herself. That movement creates that void. And when there's a void, this is an opportunity to fill it in with what we want. And then you're feeling with like, no, got this. We're good. We filled it in now. So we now with what we want for ourselves, that'll be more supportive, that'll be more encouraging, than be like, yeah, you're that. Oh, we're on this. We've got this. Next, keep flowing. So that void, we fill it in, and then we celebrate that we caught ourselves. We change the whole thing, and that reinforces we're getting a whole new reinforcement to ourselves. Because there's no point just catching, oh my gosh, okay. I always say this. Oh, okay. Oh, I said stupid. Okay. It's not serving me. And then you don't replace it with anything else. The void is open. Then you go back, you say the same thing. So like when you leave the room to go get the pen and you don't reinforce, oh, we're here for the pen, you forget and you go. So it's filling in that void, speaking so that we can then start building that self-trust for self. So we don't just, this is not like we're faking, what's it called? Well, let me be positive kind of like thing. No, this is, let me correct it to better. Let me make sure that I'm doing like I'm choosing the one that's going to serve me. This is not like, okay, let me find something. No. Whatever it is that we want, we desire, that would support us, that would help us get us closer to that which we want. So, for example, instead of saying, oh, I messed up, we catch ourselves. "Oh, I just said I messed up." And then it becomes, okay, when we catch up, what do I need to adjust here? Something in those lines that we more supportive to us. Because this isn't about, um, this becomes, okay, what do we need to now refine? We're now looking at it from a different point of view than looking at it from like a blame, shame it, or like, no. So if something like we keep saying to ourselves, like, oh no, I'm not ready, oh, I can never get this, or you can change that to like, you know what, I'm learning this. Oh, this is new to me. You're like, okay. If I'm confused means that there's some learning about to happen. We're replacing those things, right? The way we're now speaking to ourselves is like somebody that is, that we love, we're responsible for. We're now being very kind to ourselves than in a chastising way of like, oh, you dumb, like, oh, you stupid. No, we're changing that, how we see ourselves, you know? And then when we say those things like, instead of saying, oh, I can never get this or whatever, I now say, oh, I'm learning. that then makes you start figuring out, okay, what now? What? It's not kind of like disappointing. It comes, okay, it's the curious mind, right? So let's fill it up with things that would make us even be like kind to self, to love on self, and now be like, okay, what next self? And then I'm taking from that way and then that next level, right? Then we just keep going. We're not doing it like in a Dululu way. There's- No, we're doing it in a very supportive way. We're doing it in a way that is going to serve us. We're doing it in a way that is going to really help us anchor us. Yeah. And you can even have like throughout the day, check in on yourself. Like ask yourself certain questions. Like, who am I being right now? Like, am I aligned to the version of me that I'm wanting to become? Am I being kind or am I reacting to what's going on? We start having those check in on self. Even before we speak, before we quit on something, before we spiral on whatever, let's have those check ins. Let's have those things. Because if you do not choose your inner voice, life will choose it for you. So we get to decide what we're speaking to self. We get to decide. If not, the stress is going to be louder. Whatever's going on is going to get louder. And that doubt, whatever that thing that's going, it'll start feeling real because we're reinforcing it. Remember? We're doing the same, so it's happening. So we have to be mindful because we don't want that hesitation to now become our normal. That's whatever we're doing to now be like, okay, this is how it is. So I really want us to understand this is not just about mindset stuff, like, well, no, this is identity embodiment. This is like, because the way you speak to yourself shapes who you become. So you're not just thinking, you're rehearsing who you're being. And we have to be very careful. So the question we get to ask ourselves is, what version of you are you training on a daily? I am Nene. We do this every single day. Your voice matters, and it's your time to visit. Bye for now.